welcome to the virtual Nature Shack. I'm glad you guys could make this Bluegrass session. I'm Jonny, and I'll let the other musicians introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I'm a current member of Nature Staff. Sometimes I'm a violinist, but today I'm a fiddler.
Hi, I'm Harris. I play the mandolin. I've been going to camp since way back in 96 or something around there as a camper and all through staff. Started on staff with Mr. Dave Weinberg and playing the mandolin in the Bluegrass session.
So Harris, what can you remember what the first Bluegrass session was?
So I think the genesis of the Bluegrass session, as I recall, was Paul Wareham was the head of Nature Staff, and Adam Levinson and I were on staff together that year on Nature Staff. And Adam is a great musician, plays guitar, piano, accordion, some other stuff, and I dabbled in mandolin. And one day we got rained in at the shack. Everyone stuck in the shack, pouring down rain, and we started jamming on some bluegrass, some old fiddle tunes and Grateful Dead. And I think Paul had been listening to so much like Enya type stuff that his soul was really thirsty for the acoustic set. Next thing you know, we're a session on the schedule and figuring it out and picking out tunes, and that's how it started, as I remember.
Nice. What year was that ish?
Ooh, so it's a long time. Maybe if we can ask Dave Weinberg when his first year was, because I don't. It's a little fuzzy in my recollection.
Hey everybody. I'm Dave. I was on Nature a lot. Not a musician, but a huge fan of the Bluegrass sessions. I want to say that was probably, you and I, Harris, our first year was 2004. I think Adam came in 2005 or 6, so it would have been right around there. It was a ways back for sure. So
someone born at that moment could drive now.
Yeah, so that made a huge impression on me. I thought that was so cool. I was probably a sit just seeing y'all playing the shack, and then we kept the sessions going with Dave as the head there, really believing in it.
And that was a cool thing, because as I recall, there was such a strong demand for it that when Jonny said, like, I want to do bluegrass sessions, and a bunch of people on staff were like, we want to be part of that we had so many cabins sign up for it. And we thinking that, like, Jonny could trade out and everything. And then we learned that, like, actually Jonny, like, was the heart of these bluegrass sessions. And I think, Jonny, you were going like full days, just doing multiple sessions every day. But like, so many of the kids got so into that thing. It was a very cool thing. Although I know it was a very probably challenging week for you there.
Right. It was really cool. That was like one of my goals of the summer, was to play a lot of guitar. And, on Nature, we have a affinity for the Beatles. And I always like to think of like playing a million bluegrass sessions as their early gigs, playing over and over with each other and getting really tight. 'Cause then those songs were like ingrained. Yeah. And then so Jaren's not here, but he kept it going, and he'll be playing a lot of guitar and mandolin on these songs. So what's the first one we're gonna play?
I think first off, let's go right into Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arms. And I think on that one, I think all 5 of y'all are playing. So the 3 of you guys here, plus Jaren, and then also Adam Levinson. So going back over like 15 years of nature crafts, all the way back from Harris and Adam, all the way down to Isabella this past year. Just really a cool thing to see. So let's get into it.
Let's hear those yeehaws, folks.
1, 2, 3,
1.
Well, I ain't gonna work no railroad, ain't gonna work no farm, lay around the shack till the milk line get back. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Yeehaw! Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay around the shack till the milk line gets back. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Parents don't like me, shoot me away from your door. Half my life could be over, I'll never give back there no more. Roll in my sweet baby's arms, yeehaw! Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay around the shack till the milk line gets back. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Where were you last Friday night while I was lying in jail? Walking the streets with another man, they ain't even go for my bell. Rolling my sweet baby's arms, yeehaw! Rolling my sweet baby's arms. Oh, lay around the shack till the milk line gets back. Rolling my sweet baby's arms.
Are we sticking with Yona Mountain String Band? Is that the name of this particular outfit?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was Rollin' My Sweet Baby's Arms by the complete Yona Mountain String Band, which is the name of our little Nature Crafts super group that we have formed here. So Isabella, I think last summer being your first year on staff, you actually did get a chance to play a little bit with Jaren when he came up to camp. What was that like?
It was amazing. I mean, it was a really full circle experience because Jaren took me on my appy, so I had, really known him as a camper, and then to get to see him on staff, and as you just heard, he's an excellent musician. So we had a lot of fun, and I'm really happy to get to do it again now.
Harris, how did you get into playing mandolin anyway? Did that start at camp, or you had that like as a background way before?
My grandfather, Dr. Harold Gussick, rest in peace, his parents came to Canada from Ukraine, and they had him doing mandolin lessons. And I don't know if they intended for him to learn European songs or if he requested to play mandolin, but he learned mandolin as a young boy and had perfect pitch. And his mandolin teacher taught him cowboy songs like Red River Valley and that type of thing. So he was around, and I wanted to learn the mandolin. He knew how to play the mandolin. And there you go. And the guy, apart from my grandfather who taught me, taught bluegrass because we're here in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I learned some fiddle tunes, and it kind of just snowballed from there.
That's very cool. I did not know that. So, Jonny, what are we getting into next? What's our next track?
Bugs. This is a classic, a modern classic in the Camp Bluegrass world, called "There Ain't No Bugs on Me."
And how, I know it's got some crazy verses in it and stuff. How do y'all come up with that? Like, is that just one person sits there in the shack and invents this all themselves? What's that about?
Yeah, we were talking about earlier about the origins of the bluegrass session, and that's another cool thing about nature staff is the I guess just camping friends is sharing music with each other, and it was through that I learned about the Jerry Garcia. I guess Jerry Garcia being like the kind of the entryway into bluegrass. And I feel like a lot of people that get into bluegrass, that they have a similar story, or some of them do. So this song and another song we play, Arkansas Traveler, are both on the Not for Kids Only Bluegrass CD. So if you're looking for a new good CD, you can check that out. And it has a lot of influence on the bluegrass session.
I remember when we were starting bluegrass sessions, we'd play Jenny Jenkins from that. And, goes, will you wear blue, oh my dear, will you wear blue, Jenny Jenkins? No, won't wear blue for the color's too true. And we'd go around the room and everyone had to make up a rhyme as we, made up another verse and extended the time of our set in the Nature Shack. They do that in sea shanties too. They'll have verses and you make up verses because you're at sea and you're singing a song and you sing all the verses, and then you start making them up. Like, what do you do with the Drunken Sailor?
I love that song. I really do.
I think we can end up doing a volume 2, honestly, the Bluegrass virtual session.
2.0 sea shanties.
Down.
What do you do with the Drunken Sailor?
You throw him in a longboat till he's sober. Or you
shave his belly with a rusty razor.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor.
All right, so let's get into it. Ain't No Bugs.
1, 2, 3, 1.
Oh, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me.
June bug comes in the month of June. Lightning bug comes in May. Bed bug comes just any old time. You're not gonna stay.
Oh, there ain't no bugs on me.
There ain't no bugs on me. There might be bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. Little bugs have littler bugs on their backs to bite them. Little bugs of littler bugs, and so I infinitum them. Oh, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There might be bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. Sitting on a railroad track, his heart was all aflutter. Along came a train down the track into
Peanut butter. Oh, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me.
There might be bugs on some of you mugs,
but there ain't no bugs on me.
The bullfrog sitting on a lily pad, looking up at the sky. The lily pad broke and the frog fell in. He got water in his eyeball. There ain't no bugs on me.
There ain't no bugs on me.
Maybe bugs on some of you mugs,
but there ain't no bugs on me.
There ain't no flies on me. There ain't no flies on me. There may be flies on some of you guys, but there ain't no flies on me. There ain't no squirrels on me. There ain't no squirrels on me. Maybe squirrels on some of you girls, but there ain't no squirrels on me. Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more, no. It ain't gonna rain no more. How in the heck can I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? Oh, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. Maybe bugs on some of you mugs,
but there ain't no bugs on me.
That was the Yona Mountain String Band with Ain't No Bugs on Me. Wow, I do enjoy those bluegrass picking tunes. And we sure are glad that there ain't no bugs on us right now. But we could have bugs on us if we can ever go out again.
Since then, during that song, we had someone else come in and join us. Jaren, welcome. We kind of went through a little bit earlier, talked about, who we are, when we got started at camp and what we did there, and what your instrument is. Would you like to share?
Of course. My name is Jaren, and I started out at camp a couple of years as a camper, but really loved working there. I was a counselor and on nature staff, and ended up being one of the assistant heads for nature staff also. And I love playing some good guitar and some good mandolin for Bluegrass, and always a good yeehaw.
Jaren, do you remember by any chance like the first Bluegrass session you attended at camp? Like, did you actually went to?
I do. It was when Jonny visited camp for a couple days to do his like plant tours, and I'm pretty sure the first one that I went to we did for the entire JIT unit. And so I was just watching him in action and just being inspired by that, and then learned every song after that and never stopped.
Nice. Yeah, I recall actually during that, like I went walking out of the office all the way on the other side of the lake, you know, while that thing was going on, and could literally hear like the stomping on the JIT porch and all the singing like echoing all the way across. There was so much energy coming out of that.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was a big one.
Why do you think that kids get so bought into these Bluegrass sessions? I mean, like they're really just old songs, like folky songs, but man, kids go like all in on this. Why do you think that is?
I mean, it's just so much fun. I mean, you start to hear some Bluegrass and it's like, it's upbeat and you enjoy it. And especially if you learn how to clog or just any dancing to it, is always fun to do. And I don't know, it's hard not to get involved.
All right, so coming up next, we've got, I think, a little bit of a different track than the others, and that we've got some cameo appearances in it as well.
All right, so this next song is also on the Not for Kids Only album. I might be totally off, but it might go Ain't No Bugs in Arkansas, or I completely made that up. And so Jerry and David, in between the melodies, they do jokes. So we have some CBM alumnus doing some interludes to try to match that song.
1, 2, 3, 1.
Hello there, stranger.
Hello, stranger.
Does this road go all the way to Camp Barney?
Been sitting here all day. Hasn't gone nowhere yet. Well, hello, stranger.
Hiya, stranger.
How'd your potatoes turn out?
They didn't turn out. I had to dig them out.
Hello, stranger. Hey, stranger. Freeze. Ah, all right. I'll fill the bug juice.
Well, howdy, stranger.
Howdy, stranger. What are you doing out here?
Well, I got kicked out of free swim for peeing in the pool.
Peeing in the pool. I thought a lot of people peed in the pool.
Well, they might, but they don't usually do it off the diving board.
Hello, stranger.
Hello, stranger.
Your roof's leaking. Why don't you fix it?
Well, it's raining right now, and when it's not, it don't leak.
I hear you're the guy that doubles milk line.
Sure am.
Can I have a second cookie?
Sure, but you have to kiss this frog.
All right, but no tongue.
that was CBM Traveler there. We had a couple of guests in it. So big thanks for AJ Shapiro for appearing and then also writing a bunch of different iterations of that, including, a couple that we didn't get to air, but he might be willing to share with you personally. Also, Graham Levitas, Harper Landau, Stephanie Brownson Soloway, and Daniel Soloway. So thanks to everyone for being willing to get in and do a little bit of camp goofiness there. Does anyone have any memories they want to share, like any particular bluegrass sessions at camp that kind of have stuck with you? Whether they were in a special place or just something different, crazy that happened there.
When a camp out got rained in, because I know that can be sad when you're excited to go camp out and then you have to stay on the village porch instead because it's too dangerous. It was nice to be able to bring a little bit of happiness into that. And I just loved how much everyone loved hearing the music.
One of the tunes Adam and I would do a lot was called Whiskey for Breakfast. And for whatever reason, the kids thought that was hilarious. And I'd be walking down a camp road, and of course some unit head would be there, and then about this tall kid would come down the road. He'd point at me, he goes, "Hey, whiskey for breakfast." No.
I think my proudest bluegrass accomplishment was I don't know, when I sing, I start to sing sometimes with a little bit of an accent, and one of the kids was like, "Where are you from?" I was just like, "Dunwoody."
The hills of Dunwoody.
Yep.
With that authentic Dunwoody twang. All right, so our next track that we're looking to go into here is New River Train, which, Jonny, I think you picked this one out for this session. What was the background behind choosing this?
So this was another one of those songs in that binder, and it's just a bluegrass classic, pretty good to sing with campers. It, goes numerically from 1 to 2. You can make up rhymes, as we talked about, and make it fun. And then the train sound is also an interactive part. So we did the roll-in earlier with the yeehaws, right? So we would get the campers going, yeehaw, and same thing with the New River Train with the train sounds. So that keeps it fun.
We have the whole bluegrass band. You can get some good train sounds out of your chopping on your mandolin and your fiddle going woo woo, and there are lots of train songs, bluegrass train songs, Orange Blossom.
Yeah, I think we have another song. Roland talks about trains too.
Yep. Trains are a big theme in bluegrass. Recurring themes.
Why do you think that is?
They were probably working on the trains. It's a pretty classic theme. I don't know.
Like trains and coal, right?
Yeah.
Lonesome whistle. You hear that lonesome whistle blowing, it's time to pack your bag and move on down the track.
Yeah.
There are a lot of old-time tunes about train crashes specifically, and I remember my dad singing them a lot when I was little, and then I was afraid of trains from that point on. So it's train crashes must happen often.
Look how full circle we are. Now you're singing about it.
So that having been said, getting right into New River Train.
One, two, three, four. Riding on that New River train. Riding on that New River train. Same old train that brought me here from here away again.
Darling, you can't love one. Darling, you can't love one.
Right on that
Tennessee, no, and you can't love her.
All right, so that was New River Train. Before we get into our next one, Isabel, I know that a lot of times in bluegrass there are banjos. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on our decision not to record with any banjos for these sessions.
Yeah, I mean, if we had a banjo player, it would take them a whole 2-3 minutes to an hour to get that thing tuned, so we wouldn't have enough time to get any music played.
So it was an efficiency decision. I dig it.
Exactly.
So I know just kind of like a lot of humor in general, like woven into bluegrass, and especially the bluegrass sessions at camp. Y'all have any good bluegrass jokes you like throwing in when you're doing a session with the kids?
I happen to have a good one that I think is pretty funny. What's the difference between a violin and a fiddle? Isabella, you'll like this one. A fiddle has a red neck.
Oh, I heard the difference between a violin and a fiddle was a violin has strings and a fiddle has strings.
Or let's see. I can't act it out. Maybe Isabella can act it out. But you can spill your drink on your fiddle, but you can't spill it on your violin.
What's that? Is that a different angle that you're playing it on?
Playing down there.
So fiddle, you have it you might have it here, down, and violin, you're sitting up very straight, have it here. Yeah.
Our next and final track, which Jonny, I think on this one was kind of a last minute addition that you wanted to throw in. You want to tell us a little bit about this one and why you wanted it in the session?
Yeah, I was listening to it and we were just trying to do as many tracks as possible. And that one, I guess the cool thing about bluegrass that we haven't talked about yet is that it's very accessible. So if you are a beginning musician, it's really fun to go to these jams, which happen all over the country, in cities and rural areas, and everyone knows the same songs, the same standards, and it's a whole lot of fun. So I was listening to this song, which is all of these songs are standards or traditionals that have been around forever, late 1800s, early 1900s, and who knows what their origins are before that. And so I was listening to the Doc Watson version, and it was talking about the Blue Ridge Mountains.
It's really kind of neat having gone to the bluegrass sessions and stuff, listening to y'all when I was in Scotland 2 years ago doing our hiring actually for some of the international staff. Got to go to a Celtic music festival over there, and it was really cool to hear how many of those songs that are their traditional songs are so closely connected, with just slight differences to what you would hear, in the bluegrass sessions. And obviously bluegrass has a little more, influence, Black musical influence from African Americans that got really into it and what have you historically. But those roots traced all the way back in a really cool way. So that was neat. And I experienced that totally differently because of listening to all of you guys play and hearing all the stuff that you guys have done over the years. So that was really cool.
Yeah, the bluegrass music definitely comes from a lot of the Scotch Irish in the Appalachian Mountains, and they have a really kind of unique, separate, preserved culture. They maintain accents from way back in the day, and just kind of a I don't know, almost a time capsule or something. Just a separate vein of culture in this country. We've been here and there, and we're gonna be there tomorrow, and hopefully we'll all be together back at Camp Barney one day, and at our summer place, maybe having a bluegrass session, maybe eating some milk and cookies with our friends one day soon.
1, 2, 3, 1.
All right, that was excellent there, guys. Thank you very much. Before we close up for the evening, I just wanted to ask each of you guys if there's a particular, musician, band, anything like that, or a couple of them that you really like and you would recommend to other people who really dug what they heard this session and want to get into doing, listening to more of that.
Well, my favorite bluegrass to listen to are the pizza tapes, and I think that's like Jerry Garcia playing bluegrass. So that's as good as it gets to me. But the pizza tapes.
Nice.
I'll transition from that. Pizza Tapes is an awesome album, a lot of fun. And also on that album is Tony Rice, who is my favorite bluegrass guitar player. I think a lot of people that play flat picking guitar would say that too. And the mandolin player is David Grisman. So for someone who wanted just like one artist, I think I would say David Grisman, because he plays on all of Tony Rice's albums, like all the major ones. He's playing the mandolin with Sam Bush. And then the stuff with the quintet is really cool. I remember listening to that around when y'all were getting the bluegrass session started. And then, of course, playing with Jerry, too. So he kind of covers the gamut.
So if you're looking to really get started, you got to go back to Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys, the original bluegrass people. But if you're looking for something more modern, I love Alison Krauss. She is a singer and fiddle player. I believe she has the most Grammys of any non-classical musician, unless someone recently beat that record. So check her out.
And yeah, one of the ways other than through you guys that I started getting into bluegrass was actually the album she did with Robert Plant, which was, I got into it through my interest in him. And yeah, really cool, fantastic stuff there.
Check out Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs.
Awesome. I want to thank you guys all both for being on this call tonight, but then also for all the work you guys have done putting all this together. It was really special for me to be able to just work with, very talented folks like you guys, but also to just see you guys being able to work and interact with each other after all these generations of nature staff learning from other nature staff, and then, both sharing with each other, but also sharing this thing with all these kids and, helping to connect them to Appalachia in a way that we can't always do, as Camp Barney. So thank you guys again very much. I hope everyone watching at home really enjoyed the session tonight. And we'll see. I certainly wouldn't mind if we got the Yona Mountain String Band super group together again at any point. That would be pretty cool. Always happy to do editing for you guys.